Hey everyone, Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how to make toffee. Toffee, like many other candy recipes, can be a little bit tricky to make. There's a little bit of science behind it, so if this is your first time making toffee, I really recommend watching through this video or reading through the recipe at least once before beginning. To start, you are going to be using a 9 by 9 inch pan, and I recommend lining it with parchment paper. Toffee can be made without nuts, but for today's recipe, I'm going to be using a half cup of coarsely chopped almonds. You can substitute your favorite type of nut, and what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle these evenly over the bottom of our prepared pan. Now we'll head over to the stovetop where you will need a heavy bottomed saucepan as well as a candy thermometer. I highly recommend using a digital candy thermometer for this recipe. It's going to give you the best reading. It's going to really help your toffee turn out. If you don't have one, I'm going to leave a link to this one that I like using. I'll leave that in the description below. We're going to combine 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter, a cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of water, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. You'll want to use a long-handled wooden spoon for this recipe because it doesn't conduct heat very well, so it's going to keep your hand from getting burned like a metal spoon would do. We're going to stir these ingredients frequently over low heat until the butter is completely melted. As our mixture is cooking, you may notice some sugar residue building up along the side of your pan. We want to prevent this, and the best way to do so is to use a lightly dampened pastry brush and brush that along the inside of your saucepan to clean up any of that residue. Once your butter is melted, turn up your heat to medium and we'll stir occasionally until your mixture begins to boil. Once your mixture comes to a boil, you are going to attach your candy thermometer to the side of your pot. One important thing to keep in mind is that you do not want the tip of your candy thermometer to touch the bottom of the pan. That is going to give you a reading that is much higher than your actual toffee is, so make sure this tip is set in the center of your liquid. Continue to stir your toffee occasionally as it boils. You'll notice how the consistency becomes thicker as it's cooking, and the color is going to change to a golden yellow, and finally it'll eventually turn to a nice brown toffee color. We're going to continue to boil this mixture, stirring occasionally until it reaches hard crack temperature on a thermometer, which is 305 degrees Fahrenheit. Once your toffee reaches 305 degrees Fahrenheit, it should be this nice peanut butter toffee color, and we are going to immediately remove it from the heat, and we'll add a teaspoon of vanilla extract and stir until that's well combined. Keep stirring, and we're going to pour this toffee mixture into our prepared pan over our chopped almonds. We'll let our toffee sit and cool for about 5 minutes, and then you'll want to take ½ a cup of semi-sweet or milk chocolate chips, and we'll sprinkle these evenly over the top of our toffee. Cover your pan with foil and let that sit for another 5 minutes, and once you uncover your pan after those 5 minutes, your chocolate chips will be soft and melted, and you can use a spatula to spread them evenly over your toffee. Once I've spread the chocolate over the top of my toffee, I like to also top everything off with some finely chopped almonds. You'll need to let your toffee cool completely before you can break it apart and enjoy it. This usually takes a few hours. Once your toffee has finished cooling, now we can go ahead and break it apart. The parchment paper is going to make it really easy to lift that right out of our pan. Now you can just break this toffee apart with your hands, or I like to use a knife to cut it into pieces. And that is how you make homemade toffee. I hope you guys found this video to be helpful for making your own toffee, and if you try this recipe out, please let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.